Alright, so here we are for the second part. We've done the jewel. We're now going to put the base together. You can see that we have a circular base, we have the post that the jewel sits on, and then we have the hard part, which is creating the rings. So we'll work on that and figure out how to get that all taken care of here. So let's go back. We'll create a new document. We'll just call this the ring pop base. Click OK. Alright, so from here, once again, I'm just going to choose the front, make a new sketch. So if I look at the drawing, it has a circle, large circle of a diameter of 1.25, and it has a thickness of 0.0625. And then we have the base of diameter 0.1875 and a height of 0.25. Let's do those two things first, and we'll worry about putting on the ring part that your finger goes on. So on the front of this, we got a new sketch. Turn off the planes. We got this going. So I'm going to put just a circle. Said that was 1. So we'll dimension that to be 1.25. Zoom in on that. We're going to go ahead and finish that. We're going to extrude that circle out just to make sure I have the right number. 0.0625. And click OK. So we have our base. So on the front of this, or on the top of that part, we'll put a new sketch. Make sure that this is orientated correctly. We're just going to do a circle once again at the center. 0.1875 is what we saw. And we're going to extrude that one up 0.25. So I click there, and so I've got that part of the base. Now, here's where it can be a little bit difficult. We need to find a plane that goes through the center of this piece that we can draw on. So if I look at that one, that does not go through the center. That one does go through the center, going the correct direction. This one goes through in a different way. So we could either take the top or the right. I'm going to take the right view here. You can see how it's going through the center of the piece. So we have that there. I'm going to put a new sketch on that piece there. Make sure I orientate it correctly. Alright, so now this is where things can get a little bit more fun. So we're going to put off the center here. You can see how I can sort of zoom in and sort of pick the center, and I get this dotted line. I want this to make sure that we have a 0.75 circle, and we want this circle to be 0.5 from here. So we have that piece that's right there. Alright, so now we are going to draw a line from the center going up 0.25 inches. And we're going to draw a line just coming out here a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to hit escape to get out of that. I am then going to use my tangent tool to make sure that this is tangent to that. Alright, so that way we have this, and I then real quickly I'm going to just take and just draw a short little line on the inside here that's right on this same midline here, because I'm going to use that as my mirror. So there's my mirror tool. First thing it asks is, what's my mirror line? Well, that's my mirror line. Then it asks, what do you want to be mirrored? I want to mirror these two things. So it mirrors both of those. So you can see that we have that in there. All right, and then from there, we can trim away the things that we don't want. So you can see we have our piece here. So we're going to go ahead real quick, and I'm just going to sort of estimate this one. I'm going to draw a circle in here that looks like about the width of the ring. I think it actually tells me that that has a diameter or radius of 0.275. So let's go ahead and make that it said it had a radius of 0.275. So we need to take 0.275 and multiply it by 2 because it's asking for diameter. All right, now we're going to take our line tool, and from the center of this, we're going to draw a line out. We're going to use our dimension tool to dimension from here to this midline a 30-degree angle. So it didn't take my angle that time for some reason, so I'll zoom in on it. But I want to dimension from here to that line. There we go. I want a 30-degree angle. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to mirror this line. That was wrong. I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to click mirror. I want to do the middle line because that's the mirror line. And I want to mirror this line over the top of it. All right. Now, once again, I can then trim away the parts that I don't need any longer. And for some reason, it did something wrong. So I'm going to hit undo. I think I trimmed away the wrong thing. There we go. All right. I did it in the wrong order. So I'm going to do it real quick here. So I want to trim away and make sure that I have the right thing trimmed away here. And for some reason, it's taking the whole circle. So let's go ahead and do a trim of that piece there, and we'll trim away that again. And now we have our closed ring here. That was harder than it needed to be. We're going to click OK. We're going to extrude that. We're going to do a symmetric extrude of 0.1875. And click OK. And there we have our ring pop. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to use our fillet tool of 0.05. And we're going to make sure that we take away the sharp edges. Of the piece here. So make sure that we get those taken care of. For some reason it doesn't like extrude 3. We'll come back and take a look at that in just a second. I think we now have it. It's now accepted it because I did everything. And I can click OK. And now we have our ring pop base. All right, I'm going to save this one, and then we'll put together an assembly.